guys, this is Eleanor of Intuitive Voyage with your weekly reading for the week of Monday, January 25th through Sunday, January 31st, 2021. But really, whenever you come across this video is the right time to hear this message. So this week, I thought I would pull out a deck that's an oldie but a goodie. It is the Ask and It Is Given cards by Esther and the late Jerry Hicks and Abraham. And if you're familiar with her work, it's basically just cards with concepts and precepts from her book. And if you're not, definitely check out her work. I think you can get quotes online, you can find some of her content on YouTube, and if you're really lucky, you might be able to go see Esther and Jerry and Abraham in person. Now Jerry and Abraham are in spirit. But anyhow, it's a 60 card deck, and before starting this video, I just meditated on a number to pull, and I got a bit of a doozy. I got number 56. My financial decline will not elevate the impoverished, which is like, whoa, pretty controversial for some people. And the back of the card reads, "You cannot get poor enough to help impoverished people thrive. It is only in your thriving that you have anything to offer anyone. If you want to be of help to others, be as tapped in, tuned in, and turned on as you can possibly be." So this is kind of huge for some people because we quite often think about financial prosperity having to involve greed and backstabbing and screwing people over. It also talks about scarcity and lack, and how most of us think that there's only so much to go around, and it's a zero-sum game if you have, someone else doesn't have on account of you. And in many cases, it's just not the case. I know it's not a popular thing to say, but it is possible to earn a lot of money without screwing anyone over. That being said, and then doing well with what you have earned or, created. That being said, this is not, spoken in approval of greed. Greed is antithetical to true prosperity. Greed and hoarding is based on the belief that there is not enough, so you have to hold on to all you can, and that you have to keep one-upping people. And that's not true. I mean, one way for us to prove that a rising tide lifts all boats, as the saying goes, is the concept of universal basic income, which is something I have really liked for a long time. And everyone thinks, well, you're just giving money to people who do nothing. I mean, that's so subjective. There might be people out there who do nothing, but if you want to think of it this way, if you think of money and abundance, financial abundance as energy, let's replace that with love for a second. And would you say that someone just gets all this love that they don't deserve? Do you think people have to earn love? I used to think that I had to earn love, or that other people didn't deserve to be as loved as they were because of the fact that they had an easy life, or they hadn't gone through things I'd gone through, and therefore I was more deserving of love. But I would say that if you have love in your heart, you want others to do well emotionally and spiritually and materially. But back to universal basic income, I think that's a way to prove that we can all do well together. I think it's a way of showing love to humanity. Why can't everyone have enough money to have a basic good life? Things like a decent place to live, enough good, healthy food, health care, as much education as you want. We also have to admit that not everyone wants to go to college. Not everyone should. If you want to go, that's great. You should be able to go. But if you'd rather do something else, then that's cool too. I also think that a universal basic income would eliminate a lot of the judgment around money and prosperity. Quite often, to get any sort of benefit now, you have to prove that your life's really abject, and you basically have to present yourself for judgment. Like, you're here because things went wrong or whatever. If everyone had universal basic income, there's nothing to prove. Like love, you get it because you exist. There is always love available here for you, and there are No matter what you think, there are enough resources on this planet for everyone to have what they need. Not everyone's going to have a Porsche or a mansion. Not everyone wants that. But everyone wants to feel safe and healthy and have a place to live and be clothed and fed and basically have enough. And it means we have to reshuffle some of our priorities as a society. But I can tell you that the punitive, trying to give everyone enough through punitive measures does not work. It just breeds a lot of resentment. Maybe we can come from a love-filled place and just say everyone deserves to have these things. And that way, there's some people who will do very well financially no matter what. No matter what, there are always people who find a way to have more resources than others. Some through hard work, some through sheer luck, some through a combination of both, some just because they exist, and some just because. There'll always be someone who has more than you do in some area. But what we can do is basically give people enough. And I think that would eliminate a lot of the competition and the scarcity and lack mentality around having physical resources. There is a great deal of, this is just my opinion and some channeled thought, there is enough money on this earth to accomplish universal basic income, I think. I think it requires looking at inefficiencies, eliminating things that are inefficient. If everyone gets a certain amount of money just for existing, what does that eliminate? It eliminates a lot of the bureaucracy that goes around determining who deserves to get what and how much. So we can do this. So we can do this in a way that doesn't alienate people, and it'll cause some discomfort, but it doesn't have to involve bloodletting. It doesn't. If you live with love in your heart, you know there's enough. And if we all know there's enough, it eliminates the need for greed, basically. So if you are doing well financially, especially right now, help others who aren't. If you know someone who's a service worker who has had their hours cut to nil, help them. Ask if there's a way you can help instead of just charging in. Ask people what they want or what they need. People know what they need. What you think might be frivolous could make the difference between someone attempting to hurt themselves and having better mental health. You might see someone who you think ought to be spending their money on X, and instead they've decided to spend it on a meal out or something that you think is frivolous. But to them, it can just be the shot in the arm they need to restore their mental health and give them the hope they need to continue. And I say this as someone who's been on both sides of that coin, just making choices that other people disagreed with. And for me, it boosted my mental health and stopped me from sliding into a deep depression. And I've also sat in judgment of others. And the beauty with living life is that eventually you get to see both sides of an issue, or all sides of an issue, really, or most. So you gain perspective. But don't be ashamed of doing well. Obviously, do not step on others. Do well in integrity. Do not step on others to get ahead or to do well. Be true to you. Be true to your highest self, which would never, ever, ever dictate that you screw someone over to get ahead. That is so far from source, I can't tell you. That is pure ego. That is fear speaking. When you do well from love, you uplift those around you. When you do well through greed and fear and pain and misery, eventually it is visited on you and people who depend on and who are around you. So I hope this helps. So this week, do well. Do not be ashamed of doing well. But if you do well, know that you are bound to do good. You have to do good. You have to act from integrity. So keep that in mind this week. And for people who are struggling right now, believe that you deserve to have the resources you want. Know that it is possible for you. if you are in a bind, it's important for you to get your mind clear, even if it's for 5 minutes, and just ask your guides and source, your guardian angels, for help and guidance in how to help you get the resources you need. Sometimes when we're afraid, we are so wrapped up in that fear that we cannot see our way clear of a situation. But we can just get quiet, put all of that aside, and just make a request from your heart. Quite often you get even just a glimmering of an idea, or you see something, or you hear something. And so after you've made that request, if you get that feeling, or you just hear something out of the blue, you have to pursue it. It can get you what you need. And if you find yourself in a difficult situation, do not be ashamed to ask for help. People who do well have a duty to help you. So ask for help and know that one day the shoe will be on the other foot and you will be able to be there for someone, and you will be doubly blessed in the helping and in the appreciation that you are able to help others. So have a great week. If you have any comments, put them in the comments below. Sorry, I said comments twice. And love to you all. Be well. Bye.